Hey guys, it's definitely a new year and it feels like I've got 1,000 things to do. So just got some packages in, so let's get to it. A little unboxing. So, take note on how many staples they put in this cardboard. All through it, all throughout the top. This side doesn't seem to have any. That side seems fine. And then there's a bunch over here. So from the title of the video, I'm sure you'll understand what's in here. I'll start with this one first. Since it'll be the most fun to open. Probably be wearing gloves. Yeah, hasn't cut me yet. So. Couple more pieces of tape and a bunch less staples. Would have been nice. And they've got it stapled from the outside of the box to the inside of the box all the way around. Hopefully, don't have to return it. Goodness. Look. Bought this off eBay to save it a little bit of money. Supposed to be new, never, or new at least. Opened or not. I'd say it's been opened. New, unused. I guess that would be the definition of new, as unused. All right. All kinds of packaging. Got a little bit of a paint missing right there. Powder coating. And that looks fine. The Viper T56 Magnum. Bell housing. And we got some bolts, hardware. Looks like some possible grade 8 stuff. I think for the price you pay, you'd get ARP or something. Not necessarily that ARP is better, in my opinion. They seem to be shorter. Hopefully that fits the engine. And we got instructions. And pictures. Sweet. And then the engine mid plate. Number is 8074 right there. I don't know if you can see that, kind of. It says QuickTime. It is, let's say, probably 3/16 thickness. SFI. Alright. Does not say what's supposed to be in the package. So hopefully everything is here. If it needs any of these brackets, I don't see those. Obviously, they always say do not begin installation until you read every letter. Yeah, it does not say what's supposed to be in the package, so we'll leave that there for now. We'll move on, do the next one, do the transmission. I did kind of tear the handle off the side. Received it with a bit of damage on the side. Shouldn't hurt anything. It does say fragile on top. Fragile, heavy, handle with care. Inspect for damage before accepting. Not sure you're at the best angle, but that'll have to do. Big old piece of that expanded foam. Warranty information. Couple of things of corrugated cardboard. So I got it packaged real nice. So I had the cardboard here in these little cutouts. Like that. And then this big old piece of foam was back here. Obviously, caution, no oil in transmission. Completely brand new. Looks like they got a little bit sloppy there with the sealer. Like speedometer sensor. Not sure what that sensor is. I got some tape on it. Alright. So let's move this box out of the way. Get the camera to sit here again. good look at it. I think we got enough light. So, now I'll add a little more. Alright. And on that warning sticker, that pink sticker, says all oil and lubricating fluid has been drained. Please fill to manufacturer's specifications. So, looks like we've got a fill plug. I'm going to guess that's reverse lockout. That's for old school non-cable driven speedometer. Got your spline here. You're on a blank breather hose. That way it can breathe. Here's your caution sticker or tag. This thing is taped on there. So we do have a plug-in. That should, I believe that's for the speedometer. That's what it says on the side of it. Pollock. It's either speedometer or reverse. I'm going to say this one's probably the speedometer sensor, because that looks more like a speedometer sensor. It does have a plug covering that up. Looks good. It's got the threads in the center of it in case you have one of those bolt-on drive shafts instead of a slip yoke. It's got two different bolt holes on each side for transmission mount. Drain plug right there. That's better than what is currently in my truck. Currently in my truck is, or wait, no, one currently in my truck goes in from the bottom. So on the NV3500, and we've got a tag with the part number. Can't read the whole thing probably. tuet16885E. Other numbers I would assume are some type of serial number. And then you've got that number on the side. May or may not be important. Probably just what the part number is or whatever on that rear tail housing. So, Silver Sport. I got this through Summit. I tried Silver Sport transmissions, several other companies. Some of them only wanted to sell as a whole package instead of you being able to buy the parts piece by piece. Now my stand don't want to stand. There we go. I think it would give some type of indication on which gear is where. Yeah, maybe. I have to do this without you guys are on the same stand probably. that's what it is. Yes, not most interesting video. I do believe, I ain't gonna be able to know for sure till I get the old one out of the Ram 50 there. It's all covered up crap right now. Believe I'm gonna have to take and move the shifter location up to here. And everybody I did talk to about it says all it is just removing this plate, putting on a different shifter, the shifter that goes there, and putting the block off plate here. So something I can do myself. You don't have to send it back for that. I don't know if all T56 magnums are like that, or it just this model is. So it's the same thing. It was in the Dodge Viper. And same thing for a GM transmission. So let's make sure the bell housing fits. That's one thing I was wanting to double check. Plug back on the end. Get that out. Figure out the rubber band. I figured that there would be some type of collars, whatnot, that would fit around the center of it. Looks like the shaft there sits just slightly in. You got your room for your lines, hydraulic lines here. Or here. Not sure where I'll run them at. Probably do bleeder up here, and then the other line down this way. That way air goes up. But it does fit on there. Bolt holes line up. Threads look good on the bell housing. I would assume these are probably the bolts they intend you to use. I was looking at a ARP bolt kit. Because this has got a lot of the Allen head bolts. So may go that route, may not. Not sure how many bolts it's supposed to take. I haven't looked at that. Can't even see what I'm doing. You got a spacer there. Looks like we got 2 long, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the shorter ones. Also have some bolts and nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts with nuts fairly thick washers, flat washers, and lock washers. You can see that there. Let's see if these are the right threads for it. I would assume, since they did come with the bell housing. Yep, they screw in. It fits. You got a dowel pin here, dowel pin on the other side. Looks like we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolt holes. It's got the extra one over here that does not bolt to the transmission itself, just an extra hole, probably for mounting a clutch fork or whatnot, whatever you may have to go up in that hole. You'd think it would come with some type of plug to keep debris out of there, but it doesn't. It's got a hole here in the bottom. You can see I stick my finger in there. So entirely not as huge as I was expecting. Obviously, without the other transmission out to compare it to, I really don't know, but with the other transmission, it does come down. This here might be a little bit larger, so hopefully that fits my transmission tunnel. I'm gonna have to say everything else should. Only other thing I would be worried about is right in this area. Because my other transmission, I think it bevels down right about here. Slants down, whatever you want to call it, but should work. I'm told it's supposed to be a taller transmission than a lot of them. So, and nobody shows any kind of measurements, so since I'm here and thinking about it, so can't read the tape measure very well. Looks like on height wise we're about 11 inches. Get me down here at the same level. Yeah, about 11 inches there on how tall it is. I know I'm moving around a bunch. I don't have a cameraman or a nice big tripod. Back on the tripod I do have. Get some measurements, that way we're not moving around. Bell housing width, 18 inches. From the tallest point in the center to the lowest point, about 17 3/8. Bell housing thick or length, gonna be right at about 6.5. Shaft itself, 7 inches. Maybe wondering how the bell housing is not as long. Get bolt back out. And the shaft from here sits back in. throwout bearing, not throwout bearing, slave cylinder, bolts right there, so that'll take up most of the space. Let's go ahead. Measurement on the back side here. We're looking 12 7/8 from top to bottom. Tape measure don't want to cooperate. And 12 1/4 width here. So if your transmission is out and you want to measure, like I said, 6.5 inches back on your current bell housing to see what the difference might be if you go SFI steel bell housing. Compared to the transmission, and then the transmission itself in this area. 12 3/4. So yeah, so 12 7/8 here because it has a little hump. I believe that's what I said it was, 12 7/8. So, yeah. So hopefully, here in next week or two, I'll get the transmission out, start test fitting this, and try to bring you guys along for part of that process. Do not see anything else inside the box besides cardboard and foam. So I'll have to figure out what the bolt thread is for the transmission mount, holes, and go from there. Make sure my drive shaft fits, make sure my clutch fits. So until next time, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.